على فعاليات هذا المؤتمر وعلى المواضيع التي تم طرحها خلال هذا المؤتمر، ونتمنى أن الجميع قد استفاد من هذه التجربة. احنا كشركة إدارة معرض سوفيكس كانت لنا تجربة فريدة من نوعها كإدارة نوع من هذه المعارض، وسنكون إن شاء الله ونوعدكم إن شاء الله خلال العامين القادمين لتحضير مؤتمر المحلية الموجودة لدينا، فكانت هي فرصة لعمل تشبيك ما بين مصنعين هذه الخدمات ومقدمين هذه الحلول وأصحاب الحاجة لهذا العلم في هذا المجال. صراحة الإقبال أعطانا انطباع أنه هذا موضوع مهم جدا، يجب أن نكرر هذه التجربة في المراحل القادمة. واسمحوا لي أن نقوم بتكريم المجموعة التي ساهمت في إنجاح هذا المؤتمر، وشكرا لكم.
مكرمين الذهاب من تلك الجهة من المسرح، مع الشكر.
القوات المسلحة الأردنية، العميد نارت حلمي،
معالي الباشا شكر دعم القوات المسلحة الأردنية لهذا المؤتمر إذا ما قدرتوا تسمعوا.
مديرية الأمن العام، المركز الأردني للتصميم والتطوير، المركز الأردني للتصميم والتطوير، طلال أبو غزالة جلوبال، Jordan Telecom Group Orange. زين جوردن.
الباشا يشكرهم كشريك استراتيجي كسائر شركات الاتصالات.
أمنية.
نعم، لأول مرة يجتمع 3 شركات اتصالات في موقع واحد كرعاة بلاتينيين. شكرا لهم.
البنك العربي. البنك العربي.
هل لدينا مندوب عن البنك العربي؟ غير موجود. يمكن تسليم هذا الدرع للشركة التالية.
Beyond Limits.
طبعا. شكرا دكتور أمجد. تم توقيع مذكرة تفاهم مع شركة بيوند ليميتس وقام الدكتور الأخ أمجد وقام أردنيا في مجال الذكاء الصناعي. شكرا.
Exclusive Networks. Fortinet.
إحدى الشركات العارضة في المؤتمر. شكرا لهم.
L3 Harris Technologies.
شركة عارضة في المؤتمر. One of our exhibitors in the event.
Microsoft.
شركة مايكروسوفت راعي رسمي للمؤتمر. مشكورين.
بنك صفوة الإسلامي.
طبعا. شكرا لبنك صفوة أحد رعاة المؤتمر. شكرا لهم.
بنك القاهرة عمان.
راعي فضي آخر لمؤتمرنا مع الشكر بنك القاهرة عمان.
إنتاج as a community partner.
جمعية إنتاج كوميونيتي بارتنر شريك مجتمعي في إنجاح المؤتمر. جمعية إنتاج. شكرا لجمعية إنتاج.
PGI Community Partner.
شركة PGI كوميونيتي بارتنر شريك مجتمعي أيضا للمؤتمر. شكرا لكم.
Cyber Security Partners BAE Systems, Raytheon Intelligence and Space and STS Arabia.
أهلا وسهلا بشركات STS Arabia وريثيون Intelligence and Space وبيس Systems، وهم Cyber Security Partners شركاء الأمن السبراني. هل لدينا مندوبين؟ أوه هذا طاقم مندوبين. والله ثلاث دروع لو سمحت يا محمد. خليك هيك على جنب شوي عشان نعمل صورة جماعية لهم الخمسة مع بعض إن شاء الله. Please take your trophy and stand. All, please come into the photo, all of you, if you want, if you may. We'll do one photo for all. Get closer. Thank you very much. And now you may receive the other trophies. Thank you, STS, Raytheon Intelligence and Space, and Base Systems. Thank you very much for your role as cybersecurity partners.
Aidtsec Exhibitors, Data Hub Analytics.
We welcome one of our exhibitors. What's the name of the company again?
Green Circle.
شكرا Data Hub Analytics. أهلا ب Green Circle, one of our exhibitors. One of our sponsors. Excuse me. Let's not.
Joe Eagle.
After the handshake, please pose for a photo. A memorandum of understanding has been signed with Joe Eagle. تم توقيع مذكرة تفاهم مع جو إيجل. مشكورين.
Kodan. Alpha Hub.
Thank you, Alfahab.
L3 Harris Technologies. Advanced Technologies. APL Technologies. Eco Technology. CDC Jordan. Jordanian Engineers Association. The Association of Banks in Jordan. نايتل.
شركة نايتل.
Jordan Tourism Board.
أهلا بمندوب جوردن توريزم بورد، هيئة تنشيط السياحة الأردنية.
Network International Services.
شركة Network International Services.
Trend Micro.
Trend Micro. Do we have a representative from Trend Micro? It appears we do not. Sama, you can go ahead and call the next company.
Luminous Technical University College. Luminous Technical University College.
LTUC. وصلوا.
The Hashemite University.
الجامعة الهاشمية.
إسراء University.
جامعة الإسراء. نفخر بمشاركة جامعاتنا الوطنية ومشاركة طلابنا، وكلهم عارضون في هذا.
حسين Technical University.
جامعة الحسين التقنية.
الأهلية عمان University. Princess Sumaya University for Technology.
جامعة عمان الأهلية، عمان Private University.
Our keynote speakers, Mr. Baptiste Kazagou. Dr. معتز الدبعي. معالي السيد بلال الحفناوي، العقيد المهندس محمد الدراتكة.
لحظة سماء، عطوفة المهندس لا لحظة، أنا بصلح. معالي المهندس بلال الحفناوي تفضل. معالي أنا قلت عطوفة. المشكلة. العقيد المهندس محمد الدراتكة، ممثل مديرية الاتصالات الإلكترونية بسلاح الجو الملكي، فليتفضل.
Conrad Prince CB.
Is Mr. Conrad here? Here he is. He's on the way, it seems. Give him a moment to arrive. Let's not announce the next person until he arrives. The minute he hits the staircase, there you go. Here he comes.
Conrad.
Sama, are we done? Have another honoree? I'm sure. كتر خيرك باشا.
زيد ناصر.
والله هذا شيء عظيم. طيب I have to drop the mic for it.
احكيهم ولا لا؟ مو موجودين، روحوا. خلص خلصنا.
شكرا للحضور. سنستمر الآن بأعمال المؤتمر.
wait for another 5 minutes. 5 minutes. شكرا. And Mr. Bashir Musa, Regional Sales Director, Mir, Nozomi Networks. Is he in? There he is. Let's give him a hand. شكرا. And Mr. Mark Cassis, Founder and General Manager of InnoGates, FZCO. There he is. There's Mark. Huh? أهلا وسهلا. Thank you. And Mr. Siddhartha Murthinti, Chief Solutions Architect at Spire Solutions. Thank you very much. You may take your seat, Sid, here. Thank you very much. This is an esteemed panel of people from across the Middle East. So I suggest everyone listen carefully. Especially Sebastian will give us his expert moderation. Are you all mic'd, Sebastian? Say something.
Let's test.
Testing,
Oh gosh, I'm very
all
loud.
right. Yeah, just do what I do, the test 1, 2, 3 thing.
Testing,
Right,
1,
lovely.
2, 3. That's a whole lot better. I'm getting quieter.
All right, gentlemen. Lovely. I leave you to it, Sebastian.
Zaid, thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. And thank you to my esteemed colleagues on this panel. We've got, I think, one of the most fascinating questions in the whole of cybersecurity to talk about for the next 45 minutes. And that is the question of cybersecurity awareness. Why is it fascinating? Because potentially the rewards of getting it right are very high in return for a relatively low investment. Why fascinating? Because despite those rewards, I would say, as a whole, we're not necessarily getting it absolutely right. So we've heard in the previous sessions about the benefits of digital transformation. We know why we're doing digital transformation. As the president of HTU said, we're not doing it for its own sake. We're doing it because it delivers results. It delivers results of the sort that His Excellency Talal Abu Ghazal spoke so eloquently about yesterday. Benefits in terms of wealth, of lifestyle, of transportation, of health. Every sector can potentially be dramatically transformed as a result of the digital revolution. But as Conrad Prince told us this morning, we're currently sitting in the middle of a boom in cybercrime, a boom in cyber intelligence, as everyone takes advantage of the increased threat landscape to steal, to plunder, to make money, and to hamper our attempts to reach the goals of economic growth that are promised by the digital transformation challenge. So, getting cybersecurity awareness right reaps rewards, and they're measurable rewards, as far as we know. Statistics from the UK, where I'm from, show that 90% of breaches, successful breaches, have been caused in some way by human error. How do we prevent human error? By raising awareness, by increasing knowledge. On the other hand, again, statistics from the UK show that only 1 in 9 companies, organizations, corporations or departments has invested in a cybersecurity awareness program. So they have the rewards, but they're not taking them. They're not investing. Why not? What is it about cybersecurity awareness?
um, the cool stuff and the interesting stuff that at that stage also you meet some students that can talk to you about VPN and DNSs at 12 years old. So it's kind of an interesting journey where you can actually listen and learn, and at the same time develop the content as you go, and then take it to the high school, and it becomes part of what they do at the school at a year later, where
Perfect, and a lovely case study from Ireland for us to research. Bashir, can I ask you that question, but with a little bit of a twist on it, if I may? I see that in your experience at Nozami Networks and your regional work, particularly in critical national infrastructure, and dare I say it, perhaps operational technology, secure systems, heavy environments. Yeah. You're probably not going to leave it to school kids and the cyber industry to crack awareness in those environments. What would you build on Atman's ecosystem to take it into those perhaps tougher nuts to crack?
Correct. So what Atman said is very important. It has to become a culture, something we breathe and live so that we're all aware of it. To me, I see it in two ways. One is the government stepping in and putting regulations, and I'll speak about that. And two, us feeling the hit of an attack. So if we lock their iPad by changing their password, so that they start feeling and becomes the culture of awareness.
Excellent. So we're adding the overall culture, the education at schools, and we're now bringing it alive for individuals and for organisations. They're feeling the heat, and if they're lucky enough not to have felt the heat for real, you're going to artificially turn up the heat on them by simulated phishing attacks and reporting of those to people's managements.
Yes.
Mark, if I can look to you for, again, your opening views for this panel. Mark Cassis, founder of Innogates. In your perspective as an experienced specialist, particularly around risk consultancy, I'd imagine everything the previous panelists have said rings absolutely true, and you're now going to add and here's the risks you're running bit.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. We are touching different angles of the awareness. And we in Innogates, we have consultants, we deliver consultancy to our clients. And of course, all our consultants are doing the
still need to do it, but some other companies are already many steps ahead and needs to manage their risk. And that's exactly what our consultants are doing today. We use tools for it. One of the tools is shown here on the green circle booth. It's a risk manager from Ejeri, and our consultants are using it to modelize for CFO, for management, the expenses that are spent for awareness, but also for the rest. And at the same time, the people who are in the company are able to see what would happen if a breach is happening, and a breach is happening always, or many cases by the people. So for us today, if I may say it, that there are rules and regulations like what Bashir was saying. Every country is putting rules and regulation. Here in Jordan, we have already frameworks in draft, and the central bank has also enforced their framework. And specifically, what we believe is today the awareness must be around the risk management, the compliance, and how the people in the company needs to digest these risks, so then very easily can understand all the mechanism that they need to use in order to protect the company.
Excellent. So, in addition to regulation, which both you and Bashir mentioned, you've also then added in a consequence dimension, so people firmly understand whether it's if you don't fix this, you don't get to host a World Cup, or at an organizational level, it's going to cost you this, and you can start to put some real financial figures around it. And almost as if we designed this panel in a lovely sequential flow, I'd like to play in Sid at this point. Sid Murtini, you're the Chief Solutions.
For all the users, because most of the OT users would focus on running the plants, whereas they would hardly be concerned about cybersecurity. But the moment you start translating to every relevant stakeholder and get the common message, that is when they see the risk. So what we essentially do is look at the human element of the risk as well, which means which specific department of the organization or which set of users in an organization are the ones who are doing good awareness, who are the ones who really are not applying themselves, what is their mentality towards the awareness, what is the approach, and what is their lack of intent. Can we re-engage with them? So this is a whole process that needs to be brought forth, and that is when we will start seeing results. And we have done these exercises. if not today, tomorrow. Having said that, like I mentioned earlier on, everything that the organization has done or has been doing in terms of their service offerings or the value that they give to their clients is when you start showing them this is exactly what the impact is going to you, and you being the most important stakeholder, if you're not approving this, this is the direct impact your organization would have in terms of, let's say, the brand value that the company might have, in terms of financial revenue that they might have, in terms of market share that they might have. So there are many components that the organizations in the current world could actually potentially face. And once you show them in a language that a CFO would understand, again, like I said, dollar value, and there are clear-cut means now which are readily available. Gone are those days where we talk all theory, like you said. But when we showcase in reality, this is exactly the loss. And the buck is stopping at you right now. And if you don't act upon it, you will solely be responsible for it. And when you make the ownership on them, this is when they know that they are the ones responsible and it would move forward.
Very nice. So personal responsibility. Mark?
Yeah, actually, I was listening to Sid, and of course I agree with him perfectly, but I would go one step further because we are speaking about awareness and training for people. We mentioned the password, we mentioned the very
And if you don't have that latest threat profile for your country and your organization, you're just going to be training your team for something that's not in use anymore. Maybe the attackers stopped using this technique last year.
Yeah, and I think that would resonate with you, Bashir. The sense that this is a moving target. This is why you're running simulated phishing attacks. It's why you're talking about real-world consequences. It's not enough just to look at the regular.
Security awareness, because the CFO cares about money. But if we go back to making everyone aware about cybersecurity from a young age, the CFO will be more savvy about what's happening and we will be ready to invest in
built upon awareness, built upon awareness. We've got ambassadors for security coming out of the schools, as per Othman's suggestion. We've got the industry itself providing the toolkits. We've got people within the organization who are exercising their own leverage. Yeah. And I think that's, I phrased it in terms of the CFO, because I think in all of our experience, if the CFO says no, things don't happen. And if the CFO can engineer it to such a point where they can say no, and it's the poor CIO or CISO who gets the blame, that is a very happy CFO indeed. I saved the money, and it's his fault, her fault, if nothing happens. So getting that internal awareness and education geared around mission priorities for the company, as both Sid and Mark have said, and also being lobbied for in the company's own terminology, so that the CFO doesn't see it as an external factor, but it's something they themselves could personally be dealing with. I wonder if I could...
I just wanted to take a step back here and see where the whole cybersecurity journey started off. If you remember the presidential proclamation which happened in the US, it talked about cybersecurity at the highest levels of the country. President the audience at large. So if we move to the regional, specifically Jordan, I think Jordan had developed a strong cybersecurity strategy in 2018, 2025. They had 2023, I think. A 5-year strategy is what they had come up with, and they clearly identified that there is a problem. And they came up with a solution and the strategy to fix that problem, which is quite bold and which is exactly what it has to be. And I really applaud that because you have set a strong strategy forward and they're doing that. In fact, what I see is a lot of local organizations such as Green Circle, they're doing their bit by going and tying up with universities, doing this, a whole bunch of awareness trainings, tying up with a lot of online resources like Know Your BeSafeOnline.org, for example, and a lot of content can be localized. For example, if I'm in a country like Jordan, I would like that to be Sharia compliant. I'd like that to be localized and content which a local community can relate to and apply going forward. So I think that is the need of the hour for sure. The government is doing that. The enterprises locally are doing that. A further collaborative spirit from all of them together will be amazing for this region. That's something I strongly believe. Yeah.
So top down,
It's
whole
always
country
top-down,
culture,
yes.
and some localized content which can be used as a model.
Exactly. I mean, if I'm a kid and I'm going to school in the age group of
Kind of localization, local content, regional role.
I think we go back again to answering the challenge that any solution we need to come up, whether it's education, whether it's a solution, whether it's a practice, needs to address the problem. And the problem is variable. The target is moving. The more up to date and the more we know about our threat landscape and the threat actors that are basically targeting us, and we create content and an awareness session that basically programs that
happening where this is the first time IT is involved in a SOFIX event. But I also want to touch on what Mark said, because I believe we need to start working as a region. Now, maybe cybersecurity can be the topic that unites this region altogether, because we have to learn from each other, develop, grow, and start protecting the region against any cyber attacks that might happen internally or externally. So I believe collaboration and awareness is the very important part.
Absolutely, and as we all know, cybersecurity is a team sport, not for individual players, and what better way to do it than on a regional basis. So astonishingly, we seem ready to be heading towards the end of our 45 minutes, which I can't quite believe. I think we've got probably time for one more quick round of the chairs. And I think on the basis of who is not utterly persuaded of the importance of cybersecurity awareness programs, we've armed them with the case to make to CIO, CISO, or CFO for those who are not in those exalted positions already. Now, let's give them some tips and hints on where to go to find resources to apply to apply a program. I mean, obviously the main thing they should be doing is talking to Mandiant, Nozomi, Innogates, Inspire. But below that, what key resources would you draw to everyone's attention that should be being used here? And Othman, again, you're going to suffer from being immediately next to me, so.
It's okay. So I think specifically, again, specific to the Jordanian situation and the amount of education and educated people that graduate every year from the Jordanian universities, we have a huge pool of resources, right? Those resources are invaluable, specifically in the cybersecurity area where everybody in the world is struggling for resources. We continuously see customers are trying to hire and maintain resources, which is even more difficult. So I think we have an advantage here. We have a lot of resources. Let's use them. Let's put an umbrella to develop this area, whether by creating awareness programs, as everybody imagine here, but more importantly by getting those entities to work together to take those resources and take them to the next level from building such a great program. And I think we are on track. It just needs to probably happen a little bit faster, as we always want to.
It's always the problem with cybersecurity. It's never quite fast enough. Well, Bashir, anything to add?
Yeah, sure. So maybe we can look at the ages. For the young people in the audience, start looking at cybersecurity degrees at university, for example, to start being more aware. For others, what I like to spend time on is reading the regulations of different countries. It's very interesting to see what's put in there.
You have an insomnia problem.
And around cybersecurity, because they clearly outline the importance it is for the national cybersecurity. And thirdly, it's interesting, a few months back, the electricity got cut in Jordan for a few hours. To me, that was the biggest example of cybersecurity awareness, because the question started getting asked, what if this was an attack? So such events, while unfortunate, can help raising the security awareness in countries and regions.
In the UK, we do have a rather cynical saying, which is never let a good crisis go to waste. And if something happens and you can use it to teach a couple of fundamental points about consequences and resilience, why not? Absolutely. Mark, final thoughts.
To conclude, I would say that the awareness, training people, users in the company from boardroom to basement is absolutely needed and needs to continue. And I used intentionally the word users because we always think about doing awareness and training the use of the IT infrastructure, the use of behavioral cybersecurity attitude and so on. But we need to come now to a stage where we also create this awareness at management level by introducing the notion of risk management, and that will create the right attention and will probably in some cases resolve the issue of what is the return on investment of the awareness. And for that, and I will stop here, we had we're looking for your visit to our stand here on the Green Circle, where we show you the Jerry Software Risk Manager, where we use, our consultants are using, and it's really very important for next step of awareness.
Brilliant, thanks Mark. So open invitation to all to the stand where apparently there's free coffee as well.
Of course.
Sid.
Yes, I would have 3 key takeaways. First thing is obviously the cyber risk quantification for anybody who wants to look at building awareness programs, where we're looking to translate the cybersecurity risks into simple financial terms for every relevant stakeholder, number 1. Number 2 is human risk management, because you're only as strong as the weakest link. So identify, because in every breach that we have seen, there is some sort of human intervention. So identify these risks, target, intervene, and reduce the risk. So human risk management using technologies maybe like Aidtsec, which are looking at human risk from a very different standpoint. The third aspect is creating content for everybody. It could be at the national level, across the country, across large enterprises, small enterprises, educational institutions, or even the public at large. Create content which is easy to understand, interactive, relatable, and something that would teach them to go back and enjoy that course. Don't make it a pain to sit through those classes. So I think these things would be very, very useful for anybody who's trying to take their programs forward. And I think the first step that I talked about, the protection, the support from the highest levels, is quite visible here. His Royal Highness, Crown Prince, Mr. Hussein, was already here. That set the tone very clearly that we mean business in Jordan, that we are committed to ensuring the safety of every citizen in Jordan and the neighboring countries, because I fundamentally believe that Jordan can become a hub for cybersecurity initiatives, because there's huge talent, human capital, and that is very, very clear. So I think the resources are already there, and then it's success, road to success from here. From here on. Yeah.
Brilliant, thank you, Sid. And just while talking about resources and relatable content, picking up on a couple of Sid's points, I'd like to draw all of yours' attention to what I think is a fantastic resource which is out there, which is an Arabic language cybersecurity awareness portal, which is called iwai.org, and it was put together by a group of women working in cybersecurity roles across the GCC. All of them realized there was nothing very much in Arabic that was relevant to school kids or the elderly or to parents of children. And so they selected some content from reputable organizations like Aidtsec Online in the UK and Stop Think Connect in the US, and had it professionally translated and put out there as a free-to-use resource for anyone to take. So I definitely recommend having a look at that if you have a chance, and particularly if you're responsible for awareness in your own organisation and have people who aren't necessarily so good at reading English and want their content in Arabic. But I think with that plug for iwai.org, I'll pause. I'd like to thank our amazing panellists, Sid, Mark, Bashir, and Osman, and I will hand the microphone back to the esteemed Zaid Nasser.
Thank you.
Thank you, wonderful audience. And thank you, panelists. And you may all get up, and thank you very much. This was a very well-managed and organized panel, and very, very valuable. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you for your time. And Sid is telling you, thank you, audience, you've been wonderful. I think we should give a round of applause to the survivors, the ones who stayed with us till the end. Bravo. Well done. And of course, this panel session and all others are recorded for thousands of people to see online and for later reference. Thank you very much. Okay, so this panel concludes the Aidtsec Day 2 activities in this hall. But the conference continues. The conference continues in other halls. يستمر المؤتمر في القاعات الأخرى. ولكن ينتهي الآن في هذه القاعة. كان معكم محدثكم زيد ناصر. I'm Zaid Nasser, your presenter for today for Aidtsec, and I want to thank you all for your kindness. Wishing you all continued fruitful benefits from Aidtsec 2021. Thank you very much and have a great day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. وشكرا Sofix.